environmental education. What is it and how does it benefit students, teachers, and the greater community? Find out next on To The Point. Welcome to The Point, a talk show designed to drill down to do just that. To get to the point about various MCPS programs, initiatives, and opportunities, and how they ultimately benefit our students. I'm your host, Aisha Bo, and today's topic is an exciting one, outdoor environmental education. And to help me get to the point about it, we want to welcome very, very special guests here at To The Point. First, I do want to start off with the humans in the room. Tell us who you are and what you do for this program.
My name is Mark Granger. I'm one of the teachers for the Outdoor Environmental Education programs for Montgomery County Public Schools.
My name is Brian Schilling, another of the educators for Montgomery County Public Schools Outdoor Education.
So I, of course, want to address our guests here in studio. Tell me about the animal ambassadors and what they do for this program.
Well, I have a few turtles that we use at the Smith Center also, popular with the students. The first one is a box turtle named Hexie, and she's a turtle you might find in a forest nearby or near a pond, a land turtle mostly. The other turtle we have is the Maryland state turtle, a diamond terrapin named Chip. And we keep Chip at the Smith Center to use with the students also. Two different types of turtles, one that lives in brackish water and one that you would find in a forest or freshwater.
This is Rocky. He is a barred owl, and he is one of our animal ambassadors.
And what is it like to have these ambassadors and the way you all engage with students?
I feel like they really alleviate any nervousness with the kids, but also engage them. And not just the kids, it's the teachers and the adults that we work with as well.
That's awesome, and we're happy to have all of you here with us. I want to get started with, when we say outdoor environmental education, which most people refer to as outdoor ed, what is the program about and what is it?
Well, basically, it's getting kids outside and doing things that they can only talk about in their classrooms or read about in their classrooms, giving them real-world experiences in primarily the natural world around them.
And outdoor education has been around for decades?
60 years, to be
exact.
exact.
Talk to me about that tradition, how long it's been within our system, and what that's been like.
Well, it started in 1963. A principal named Joe Howard and a few teachers from one school decided they wanted their students to have outdoor learning experiences to match with what they're learning in the classroom, to build upon that. First year was one school, the second year was two schools, and not long after that, all the schools in Montgomery County were coming to outdoor education for sixth grade.
And that goes right into my next question. Along with the work you all do year-round, one of the most popular parts of the program is the sixth grade overnight field trip or experience, if you may. Tell me more about that program.
Well, we're trying to get away from the idea that it's a field trip because it's part of the sixth grade curriculum, just like math class is. Maryland was the first school in the United States to make environmental literacy part of graduation requirements. So by the time kids go through their MCPS experience, they'll know how their actions impact the natural world around them and how we depend upon our natural systems.
So yeah, while the students are with us for 3 days, they're taking a variety of classes, they're going out in the evening for a night hike, they're having a campfire. So it's a mix of, I'd say, community building and learning the science curriculum.
And tell me about some of the day programs you all do.
So we're lucky that we have the ability to offer day programs, which are more like your typical field trips, where elementary, it's actually K through 12, have the chance to come to the Smith Center or one of our other centers to do some lessons outside, again, that they couldn't do in their classrooms. They might be in a stream or investigating all the living things in a forest or a meadow or a pond.
A huge part of this that you mentioned is that outdoor aspect. Talk about the value of being able to offer to students this curriculum, not only in the classroom, doing papers and things of that nature, but to actually be in nature.
I tell you, the best way to tell you about it would be to show you, because when the students come outside, I mean, quite often we'll have students that don't go out to fields and to forests and to ponds. And when they get out there, the first comment I hear sometimes is, well, you can't make me go out there. And the last comment I often hear is, please, I don't want to leave yet. Because once they actually experience learning with their hands, with their friends outside, and with some of the animals we have, they love it. And it does build upon what they're learning in the school, which is great.
And it builds upon different modalities of learning. A lot of times a kid that is just not successful at a desk for 6 hours a day just blossoms and finds everything that he or she wants to find in their educational experience. And the teachers can capitalize upon that too. Once they find out what motivates the kids, like, my gosh, they're holding a crayfish and they're suddenly an adorable child. So it accesses a lot of different opportunities that the teachers can use when they return back to the classroom from one of the outdoor experiences.
And while you all plan the things that the students are doing, talk about the teacher's role in that. What is that relationship like with our teachers?
I would say the teacher's role is crucial. One of the best things we do, I think, is we actually spend a fair amount of time training the teachers how to teach the classes outside with the students. We have some professional development courses. So when the students come, they get to learn from and with their teachers in a whole different setting. Often they come away with a stronger relationship.
And it's important to point out that this is MCPS curriculum. This is not something that's icing on the cake. This is the meat and potatoes of their educational meal. So it's important that teachers realize they can deliver their educational objectives in these real-world hands-on ways. And they're very meaningful for the kids. And I think they appreciate that once they realize this is a powerful learning tool for the kids. If you talk to graduating seniors from MCPS, one of the things that we hear again and again and again, one of their top most favorite experiences from their whole time at MCPS was their time at Outdoor Ed.
Now, while a lot of families do embrace the outdoor ed experience, sometimes we do have families that may be a little bit reluctant about letting their sixth grader do an overnight trip. Any advice for those families? And in those situations, how do you handle that?
Well, first we want to make sure that they realize this is not something that's an extracurricular field trip. This is important to their child's educational experience, just like math class is or language class is. Second, we want to make sure that it is safe and supervised and structured. A lot of parents think that we're having the kids build lean-tos to survive, like it's a Bear Grylls show, and that's not the case at all. They're doing lessons which are part of the classroom curriculum that are supervised by their teachers, organized by professionals, and they're safe when they're there. There's also, as part of the overnight program, there's the option not to spend the night. We realize cultures from all around the world, if a child is spending the night away from the home, they might not be very comfortable with that. So we're giving parents and families the option to pick up their kids at night, have them sleep in their own bed for the evening, then come back for breakfast the next morning. So there's lots of options to make sure that families who are not quite comfortable with this idea to become comfortable with that idea.
And for kids that do go on the trip, and just for families that may be watching this, what does that day-to-day look like in those 3 days? I understand it's 3 days, it's a part of the curriculum. What are the kids doing while they're there?
Yeah, I'd like to tell the kids this will be their longest day of school ever. Because when they arrive, we start with a hike, which introduces them to the ecosystem around the Smith Center and the idea of what they'll be doing for the next 3 days. Following that, we eat. After that, we have a class. They move into their cabins. We eat again. We have nighttime rotations, which are very popular and quite exciting, learning about things like night vision and triboluminescence.
Would you guess how many kids in MCPS have never had a s'more at a campfire before?
Yeah.
Higher
Also
than you
very
think?
popular.
Bigger number than you think?
And then the next day continues. Breakfast in the morning. And during breakfast, it's nice because we have students who are kitchen patrol, so they will help set the tables. And believe it or not, this is one of the most popular things for students.
They don't go into it liking it, but by the time they're done with KP, they think, I want to do KP.
This is great. And then we have a class in the morning, a class in the afternoon, more evening activities, and then it's the third day, and before you know it, they're finishing up with lunch.
Now, outdoor education is not just about that 3-day trip that the sixth graders take. You all also offer those day programs. Tell me more about that.
So elementary schools have the ability to apply for some of our day program offerings, and we fill up in the calendar very quickly. Right now, we're in the middle of 5th grade daytime astronomy. We have a planetarium at the Smith Center. So 5th graders can come from their school, and we have enough space. They can hike a scale model of the planets. They can do some shadow stick recording, just like Galileo did 500 some years ago, and they get an idea about rotation, revolution of the Earth, and why we see the different stars that we see in the nighttime. Popular program.
Yeah, our newest popular program for elementary school is called Sustainable Agriculture. And again, it's part of the 5th grade curriculum, but we just started last year, and the students came to the Smith Center, and each school that came created their own garden. So they had to actually clear the dirt, put in new dirt, plant the seeds, water the seeds. And it is surprising how much students seem to enjoy this. Along with that, they learned a little more about compost and farm animals. We have some chickens and a few goats, which are just very popular with the students.
And then there's also the professional development factor for the teachers. Talk about that.
Yeah, so it's important that the teachers who bring the kids to the Smith Center for any of our programs have an understanding of what they're being asked to do and how to do it effectively with the kids. So several times a year we'll offer workshops to invite the teachers to get familiar with what they're going to be doing. But we also offer official CPD, professional development, for credits. Right now, we just started EEO2, Outdoor Environmental Education Techniques, and that's going to be 3 credits. But we also we join up with the Chesapeake Bay Foundation, and in the summertime, offer larger, basically watershed immersion programs where they get really a good background in watershed topics.
It's amazing. And right now we want to take some time to watch the clips from a video that celebrates all things outdoor ed to see the many activities you all do.
Outdoor ed provides the opportunity for students to connect in new ways to really get at that social emotional learning.
We have a vibrant teacher professional development program. We work with students of special needs.
Outdoor education is a magical thing because when the students of all ages come here, they can actually experience things firsthand. They actually see it, they touch it, they feel it, they smell it, they use all their senses.
If you don't know about the environment, you're not going to care about it, and that's why we're here.
Outdoor Environmental Education delivers hands-on science instruction. It's learning by doing, combining knowledge with action, teaching students how to care for our environment and each other. Outdoor Environmental Education is widely known for its 6th grade residential program, which has become a tradition and a rite of passage for MCPS students.
We explored watersheds and did a whole bunch of fun things like going out, doing stream studies, confidence courses.
We've learned a lot about nature and teamwork and how we're supposed to help each other in everything.
It creates the opportunities for higher order thinking. It creates opportunities for collaboration for kids.
It was one of the best experiences I've ever had.
I loved it.
What I got out of outdoor ed was meeting new friends. I had a lot more when I left than when I came. I loved outdoor ed so much that I decided to come back and volunteer.
We got to see things in nature that we learned about in science class.
High school students come to conduct field experiments, as well as earn student service learning hours.
We want a beautiful environment, so that's why we're doing this, and so future generations and our generation can enjoy our environment, and also just to give back. It's fun, and it's a way to learn about nature and ecology.
You all do so much for our students, as we just saw in that video there. An amazing experience. When you talk about the experience overall, one of the things about outdoor education is also that emotional and social piece for our students. Talk about the impact that this program overall has on MCPS students.
Yes, it's important to talk about the instructional activities that are part of the curriculum, but sitting around a campfire circle with your teachers and your peers is a great way to get to know each other. Doing all these hands-on activities, finding your way through the forest with maps and compass with your peers, really makes kids feel successful and comfortable with the world around them.
That's amazing. All right. Mark and Brian, thank you so much for joining us. And thank you for joining us. They've been so good throughout this entire
Yes, they have.
Thank you for
I'm
having us.
impressed.
All right.
Extra mice for you.
Appreciate it. And we want to thank you all for joining us. For more MCPS content, be sure to subscribe to the MCPS TV YouTube channel. Additional programming is also televised on the MCPS TV cable channels, so make sure you check that out. And that's all for this episode of To The Point. We'll see you next time.